Wild for the Thunderbirds, and throwing coming up for Hills East, and that's why the Thunderbirds have a lot of hope into next year. 12 seniors. It's something to be said for that. All of a sudden, a young team the last couple of years is going to become a veteran one, and with all these young players getting a lot of experience, they'll get back Sydney Diaz next year, who is going to be a starting center mid that tore her ACL during club season over the summer. That was a big loss for Hills East. They're missing Meredith Koval today, who's their junior midfielder, out with a quad. So Matt Mayo has some cautious optimism for the next calendar year about what his girls could look like very, very soon.
You just hope that when you have a year of promise, that the team comes back with so much focus that they actually leave the field today, Ralph, and say, bring on the 2014 season. Bring it on.
This is Alicia Doust, the 8th grader, with the chance. And Doust, a future star. They could not keep her off the varsity this year. She was so awesome in the preseason, and she draws a corner after the Ferber save.
There's good footwork right here to beat her defender, and then she's going to use her left foot here to get this kickoff. I'm not sure if that would have hit the cage or not. Ferber was taking 0 chances. An 8th grader, boy.
This one knocked away, and Alicia Doust, a wonderful story because she is, you don't want to use the phrase late bloomer for an 8th grader, but I guess in this day you see phenoms, but for Doust, she's been the first 8th grader to make the Smithtown West team ever, but she was on the U10B team. So in a matter of 3 years, she has gone from one end of the spectrum to now being a U14 national team player pool person.
That's what happens with some kids. You know, they try out for these teams. They don't make what's considered the A team, and it just sets off a fire in them that they become so much more determined and so much more hardworking, and will settle for nothing less than what they think they deserve. And those kids are so hard to find, Ralph. So many kids just get complacent when that happens. Oh, they don't see my talent. Oh, you know, they don't know what they're doing. Instead of saying, next time we have a tryout, I'm going to make sure that I stand out.
Palazzolo's shot, and that's the left outside back stepping forward with a good strike that Ferber had to track. So Victoria Lynn Palazzolo, she's a sophomore, 2-year starter on the outside for this very deep Smith West team. Here is Doust again, and Doust just taking on defenders and with a blow-by to the outside. And great aggression here from this 8th grader. She'll cross it, but Ferber did not have any blue shirts in front of her.
Smithtown's really starting to wear down Hills now. In the second half of the second half here, have such tremendous scoring opportunities. They've really kept the ball in the Hill zone, and you just feel like it's a matter of time until they possibly put another one in before this half is over.
And there's Alicia. And still some moments where she has to mature, but she is the fastest girl on this team, and players like Sydney Donovan, Miranda Gibbons, and Gabby Sharika on it. So some great praise from Rob Schrettenmeyer about what is on the way from her. She had the athleticism that you can't teach, but it was the technical ability that eventually joined her, and it came maybe faster than most people expected for Doust.
Well, and she also has great players to look up to, and good role models on her own team, and that's just so important. That's something that can't be replaced as well.
Ball over the top that Ferber will handle, and Doust is playing right now with Sharika, who's in the middle, and there was Palazzolo again stepping up. And here's Alexa Sheridan.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. I just, on so many of the young guns, we used to call them, the up-and-coming players. When you looked at the teams they were on, they were surrounded by so many talented kids. You looked at the Courtney Fortunatos of the world playing with Shannon Gilroy, for instance. You just watch those type of relationships develop. And, Shaylin Blaney and those guys at Ward Melville coming up as 8th graders. So many young kids playing with so many talented players above them, and just taught them how to work hard.
Here's Sheridan, got it laid off from Sharika, and Ferber he will handle after the attempt was blocked. And that captaincy, and also creates great tradition, which is what Smithtown West is trying to do. The program still doesn't have what you'd call the Northport kind of tradition, or the Hauppauge level. The schools only officially split up for the fall of 05 in the 05-06 school year as Gabby Cabello puts it across. And this will go back to Ferber as Smithtown Central back in the day in the 70s was just one school, and now they have the East and West that are trying to create their own traditions. So here's the way League Two has gone at the last day of the regular season, and Northport has pinned both losses on Smithtown West, but they've been unbelievable this season and likely going to finish up 16-0 in the regular season.
That's an unbelievable season. And again, once the playoffs come and it's win and move on, lose and go home, there have been seasons where we've been undefeated, the top seed, you lose in the semis or the finals, and it's as if your season was a complete bust. And, you know, you look back on it now, years later, and you say, wow, that was a special season to go undefeated. We beat everybody. But to not come home with the hardware is devastating.
Here's Hannah Wild, but quickly on it was Kaylee Crockett to tow it away. And we'll have several subs coming in. East will have the throw-in as Rachel Singer and Julianne Spano are the two in for East, and Miranda Gibbons after a brief rest back in for Smith West. And she'll replace Gabby Cabello. So 1-0 Smithtown West, a goal in the 21st minute from Gabby Sharika. And Chelsea Dantona did get credit for the assist to Springer as Lentz drills it here to the middle, and a ball intended on the wide side for Singer. Ball brought in, Brooke Delano, she's just a sophomore. Sheridan and Sharika. On the turn, Sharika pass looking outside for Gibbons. And nicely done here by Schwartz to keep it away from the speed of Gibbons. And Sharika back on it. And now Miranda Gibbons. And they will say the ball crossed, very close play. Otherwise, Gibbons, with her speed, was going to turn the corner.
Yeah, that was a very close play. Had that call not been made, you would have seen a fast break for Smithtown on that.
Rob Schritzmeyer says Miranda, she gets to the dirty spots on the field and finishes. 6 goals, 3 assists, or 6 and 2 rather, for Miranda Gibbons this year in her breakout.
That's a compliment, by the way. I like those kind of players.
Yeah, you don't get too many of them. Here's Sydney Donovan putting it back across and just a little bit behind her teammate on the back end. And it'll come out here to midfield for Hills East. Bolero got a good ball from Spano. And this is how quickly East can turn it around. And Bolero drawing the help from Bieneman and Crockett will hold it up. And finally, all the Bulls in the navy blue will collapse.
Yeah, that was started out as a 1v1 into a double team, which almost ended up in a triple team.
Doust on the other side of the field. And Alicia Doust having Sharika in the middle. Sharika trying to bring it in. Gabby Sharika back to the left foot. The defender fell down, then she shoots and puts it in. With some contact and great composure from seamer Gabby Sharika for the second time.
I am thoroughly enjoying watching Gabby Sharika play. I will tell you what, this is a kid who knows how to get not just open, but open when there's no space to get open, ball control when she has no right to control the ball, and then accurate pinpoint shooting. I mean, that's just unbelievable play right there. And there was nothing that Ferber could do on that. So right here, that ball should be taken away right there. There's one defender. There's 2 defenders. Grabbing onto it, doing everything they can to try to stop her. Irrelevant.
Gabby Sharika was held to just an assist the first meeting against Hills East. But here she's got 2, and she has taken Smithtown West this season on her back. And you can see why. So special. And she'll probably be the first one to tell you she should have 3 in this game, if not for the first one that she shanked over the top.
It'll be interesting to see now from a coaching perspective what adjustments Coach will make going into the second half with his team up already 2-0, if not more soon.
Chelsea Dantona shot, and she will put it into the corner. What a strike from senior Chelsea Dantona, the right outside back. Wow, brilliant moment there for her. It's 3-0.
Well, Chelsea Dantona, you know, it's a great play right here to come and get the ball. She's got, look at those long strides, just beating her defender to the spot and says, you know what, I'm going to roof it because there's so many other people cutting down. Ferber's not sure whether it's going to be a cross, a shot. Says, let me take a chance here, put it up high.
2 goals, 40 seconds apart. Dantona probably the most athletic player on the field, says Rob Stretzmeyer. And she plays in the back, interested in going to Springfield College for physical therapy and to play soccer next year up in Massachusetts. So Smithtown West looking like a team. It took some time, but looking like a team that is getting sharper and trying to be as focused and ready as possible for the playoffs.
And that's what it's all about. It's all about who's on the roll at playoff time. And, you know, I would assume, Ralph, that this anticipated Smithtown, perhaps Northport matchup wouldn't be until the finals, and it may never even get to that. So they can't look too far ahead.
Gibbons, and she'll bring it in. Connecting with Sharika, and Lisa DiNardo to step forward. And she'll pick up, I guess, a little bumping foul. Well, no, it'll be Sharika actually on the foul. So it'll be a restart coming up for Hills East. With under 7 minutes to play in this first half. Took the Bulls some time, but now they've scored 3 goals in a 12-minute period. 2 from Sharika, but she's been dangerous the entire afternoon. And so has Miranda Gibbons. And laying it back for Kaylee Crockett.
Half Hollow Hills really did everything that they could in this first half to hang in there and you know, with all their injuries and whatnot. And I mean, I'm very impressed watching Smithtown so far. This is my first opportunity to see them play this year. They just look like they are poised and, you know, as you say, healthy and deep and ready to make a run deep into the next level, into the playoffs.
This is Dantona. A lot of calmness, who put it to the front before it's sent ahead momentarily by Delano. And a throw-in coming up defensively for Hills East. With under 6 minutes to go. So Rob Stretzmeyer has, I think, gotten what he wanted. His starters have gotten the first half, and they are deep. They expect to play the majority of their reserves in the second half, but probably would have told you we should have maybe finished even a little bit better in the first half of this game, because the next time they're on the field, it'll be a very important one as Sharika trips up Brooke Delano. And remember, in this kind of game, you do not want to pick up a yellow card.
No.
Because those accumulate, and the last thing you want is to have a player that's on the bubble with about 4 yellows pick one up here.
Yeah, I would be surprised if we don't see some substitutions in the second half. But again, you never know. You never know. He may say, look, this is why we took the 13 games instead of 16. You're going to start every game, finish every game, and then we're going to get ready for the playoffs. And that's our philosophy. That's been our philosophy.
Spano and Singer looking for the ball, volleyed in. And played in the air by Juliana Cabello before finally blasted out by Palazzolo of Smithtown West. Stepping forward, Lauren Keschner, and out wide, and Bolero, and this is where people chase her. She moves past Dantona. Again, Bolero. Defenders backing off to the left foot. She takes the shot. Cascone to save the rebound. Chipped a little wide. In front was Singer, and maybe the defender was the one that flicked it away.
And again, Bolero just showing how extremely talented she is. She is so difficult to defend, not just one-on-one, but even, I mean, there was basically a double team on her at that point. She knows how to create space, knows how to split the defense, and get a great clear shot off. And here it is. Basically, there's 2 blue shirts around her. That is a quality shot right there when, you don't expect it at all.
And for Christina, in her last game against Northport, she was shut out. But that was after a 4-game goal-scoring streak that Northport ended. And she's going to finish up this season as Ferber on the back end, and it comes through, and then it's put in. That's the 8th grader, Alicia Doust, with everybody kind of looking at the ball. She sneaks in on the back end, and for Doust, that's the 3rd goal of her 8th grade season.
Well, I'll tell you what, you could see this play developing as it is happening. That is